friends and family. Welcome to Tutorial Tuesday and Marcie Creates. This is Marcie, and for this Tutorial Tuesday I have the mix from the Bargain Bead Box Romance box, which was gorgeous, and we are going to be making some earrings today with a little wire wrapping and the crystals from the mix and one of the little drops. And as you can see, it's very swirly and fun and nice long earring for those of you that like to wear long earrings, or if you have a friend that loves long earrings, this is a great earring to make. And what you're going to need today is you're going to need some 16 gauge wire, some 24 gauge wire. You're going to cut your 16 gauge wire into 5-inch pieces. And then you're going to need your beads from the Romance collection. You will need a pen. This is going to be the mandrel for our swirl that we're making. So any pen that you like. This I just grabbed is a paint pen that I use when I'm doing my art journaling. A Sharpie would work. You just want something to be a little bit thicker than a ballpoint pen. And actually, depending on how thick is how your swirls are going to go, if you can see what I'm talking about. We're going to make one in a minute. But get yourself a pen, and you're going to need cutters. Use some little chain nose pliers if you've got some round nose pliers, and I believe that is it. Maybe also your flat nose for trimming some of, or pushing down some of the wire. But basically, we're going to, so the first thing we're going to do is make our shape. And you can do this one of two ways. I didn't think about it when I made this set. I winged this. I did one and then the other, and they look fine. But you could also take both your wires, cut two 5-inch lengths of wire, and just hand warm them next to each other for a little bit, like this. And this is the 16 gauge. You could do 18 gauge. If 16 gauge is too hard for you to work with, it is very thick. By all means, use 18 gauge. I just happen to want the extra stability of the 16 gauge. And then what you're going to do is take your mandrel or your form or whatever it is you're going to be using. You're going to hold your wires like this, and you're going to start to bend them around your mandrel. So take your time with this. Like I said, the 16 gauges, I'm really having to push on it, but again, I wanted the extra stability. So once you have this on here, then basically you just slide it off. And here are your spirals. Now, if you have other mandrels or things, just test out what you have at the house. I had this, and that's what I used. You may want something thicker, in which case your spirals, you might want to use more wire. This was 5 inches. Pardon me. This was 5 inches. If you do something thicker, you might want to do 7 inches, depending on how long you want your earrings. And if you want the spirals to be tighter, then you can either wrap tighter or you can use something thinner. But I thought this was a nice, gentle, sloping spiral because we're going to do some wire wrapping on it. So now that we have our spirals, we're going to make our loops. I'm going to pre-loop these. So you're going to take your round nose and you're just going to make a loop on one end, just like that. I'm going to do the other one so they match. There we go. And now we're going to do the bottom. And on the bottom piece, I went the opposite way. So I was going towards the curve up here, but down here I'm going in the opposite direction. Oh, let me trim this. Make sure too that your cuts are flush. So see how it's pointy? You can see if that's pointy. I want it to be flush, so I'm going to use some flush cutters and just nip a little of that off. I think this is the same way down here. Yeah. Okay. So now I'm going to take this. I was going this way with this loop. I'm going to come opposite of this way. This is a choice I'm making. You don't have to do it this way. You could go with the swirl. The reason I did it opposite is so when the earring's hanging, I can hang my charm. And it'll land a certain way, but it's up to you. So this is just how I'm doing it today. Try it both ways. See what you like. Anything that I show you on these tutorials can be adapted to your taste. It's not written in stone. You have to do it my way. You just learn from me and then take it to the next level, which makes it yours. Okay, so now we have our spirals. Very cool. Now this to me is the fun part, the actual wrapping. And I'm going to take one out of the way for a moment. Actually, I'll hold on to these. I actually have one matched up with this guy, so we'll continue. And you're going to basically start wrapping right by that loop and start stringing beads on. That's what we're going to do. So, you move him out of the way. You're going to take your 24 gauge craft wire. This is by Beadsmith. I love it because it's tarnish resistant. And I'm running to the end of my spools here. I have had to make a wire shopping trip because I've run out. So grab a bunch of wire. More than you think you need, of course. I think this is about, I'm going to do 12 inches, I think. Yeah. That should be plenty. And another thing you want to do is just kind of warm it again in your hands. Get it. This, of course, is much easier than the 16 gauge. That 16 gauge is tough. If you have, hand problems, carpal tunnel, or arthritis or something, do use the 18 gauge on that spiral. That'll be easier for you. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to put some wraps right at the top here. And I believe on the top and bottom, I did 6 wraps. So hold your piece in your hand. What's nice about it being curved is you can nestle that right in your finger like this, which is nice. And take some of your wire up here, and you're going to just wrap it gently 6 times. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now don't worry about them not being lined up. You can line them up like little soldiers with some flat nose pliers, just like this. Just take it on either side and smush them together. See how tightly coiled they are now? And then you're going to push that. It's going to slide. You're going to push that up. I leave this tail till the very end. And now we're going to start wrapping. So the other thing that I decided is I wanted the beads to kind of come, and this is your choice also. I wanted them to come outside the piece. You could do inside as well. So I'm going to get my string ready, and we're literally going to string the beads here and roll them all along this curved part. So I'm going to take a look at this other earring. So on this one, I have the purple crystals and that one of those pretty copper beads with the stripes in them. So that's what I'm going to grab. I'm going to grab a purple and a striped bead and another purple. Thought these purple beads were really pretty. You're going to slide them down until they come down to the end of your wraps that you made. Okay. Now you're going to wrap these, and in between each station of beads I did 3 wraps. So we're going to do 1, 2, 3. And again, they're not very together. That's all right. You're going to come in and smush them together. Smoosh. And now we're ready for, actually I think I'm going to come up back through there. And now we want our beads to go this way. So our next section is one of those pretty rectangle crystals and the different colored peach tiny beads. I'm going to do those next. So here is a little peach bead. And these are tiny. Thought they were really cute though. I love these rectangle. I love when those turn. I thought on the spiral those would be catching the light very nicely. Let's see, another peach. This one's a lighter peach. Slide them down. Make sure these are squished. Then we're going to run those beads along that curve, just like that. And we're going to do another 3 wraps. 2. All right. Make sure that they're okay. Next set is a red bead in between 2 of the lighter crystals. So we're going to do, I have some more over here. Yep. Let's do a light crystal. If it wants to go on. And a red bead. I think this mix was very pretty. There's colors in here I would not necessarily put together, but I did really enjoy it once I started playing with it. If any of you got the box, I'm curious what you thought. And we're going to make another wrap. Pardon me if my hands are in the way. You do kind of have to hold those beads to anchor them before you get the wire on there. So that's why sometimes you're seeing my hands. Okay. Now we've got, as you can see, we're starting to get a really pretty design. And so then next, I think I repeated, yeah, we're going to repeat what we did up here in this next 3. So we're going to need another purple, copper, and a purple. I went through these purple beads pretty quick. This might be the last ones, actually. They are so pretty. I did see that they have some extras on their website on Bargain Bead Box. And as you know, you have that 30% coupon. So I think I might have to get some more of these purple ones. So I do like them. All right, and we're going to continue to go around our curve. Okay. And you can kind of move these around. See as how I can kind of move them. All right. And next we have our long bead again and our two kind of salmon colored beads. So we will take one of these. And one of these. One of these. And we're going to go along the curve again. And we're going to wrap. Let's smush these a little bit closer. I think I'm going to go around one more time. Oops, I think I just hit the camera, sorry. Close work we're doing. Now for the rest of this is going to be the red and the peach and the clear, or the white. So let me make that a little neater. I think I'm going to go around one more time. So 3 or 4 wraps. I mean, you don't have to be super precise. This is not the kind of thing that you have to be super precise with. But you just want some continuity in your design visually. And I think that's accomplished by the spiral and also the repetition of the little stations that you're making on here. Now on these red beads, they have a tiny little hole too, so they're challenging to find. There we go. Oops. My fingers don't want to work today. It got super cold here, which I love. I love it to be cooler. But literally my hands and my feet today are like ice. So I'm going to go get some hot chocolate when I'm done. All right. Now we're in our final stages here. So we're going to wrap this. And this time we're going to do 6 wraps. It looks like we have a lot of extra room here, so don't despair if that happens to you. One of the things you can do is add extra wraps. And then you can slide your beads. This is not so tight that you can't slide them up and down your piece so that they look a little more even. And let me push this down. There you go. So now we're going to trim our wire in both spots. And then we're going to come in and tuck our ends. I like using the crimp because I love these little grooves. They help you especially when you're wire wrapping, get your little pieces from sticking out. And then if you still feel something, you can come in with the flat nose and do the other side here. So these Xyron crimpers are pretty versatile for lots of things. All right. So now we have our 2 earrings. So we're going to make, so what's cool about this now is the ear wire will slide right on there like this. And you can just, whoops. And we have a charm to put on, but I think last time I put the charm on first, it really doesn't matter. Yeah, and then here's the very cute charm from the kit, and I did use a little jump ring. So one of the things, if you're going to do a jump ring, make sure that your loop is shut well. It looks like it is. So I'm going to open up my jump ring. I wish you all had smell-o-vision. There's something in my kitchen that is cooking. It smells so good. I wish you could smell it. I think it's chicken and peppers. It smells amazing. Okay. I'm going to shut this. And there's your earring. There's your companion. So, very fun. Kind of flirty. Lots of movement. You got the little dangles so that you have even more movement. They're nice and lightweight. They are long if you know someone that loves long earrings. How fun are those? They look like a little party. So this is the Tuesday tutorial with the romance mix from Bargain Bead Box. And I think these turned out very nicely. And if you try to make a pair, let me know. Just keep in mind to keep your pieces even. And I think doing it that way I showed you on the video with both wires was a good tip. Find yourself whatever you want to use to make a mandrel, and then you're just going to wire wrap stations of beads. Not too difficult, but I think fun, and something you can build upon for a set. I could see maybe making a shorter one of these as a focal piece for a necklace, and then you could do some wire wrapped little stations for a bracelet, and you could do a whole set. So thanks for watching today. Like and subscribe. Let your friends know that we got Tutorial Tuesdays. Every Tuesday we're going to have a tutorial. And generally I use the Bargain Bead Box. I like it because it's affordable for a lot of people. You get that 30% coupon. And I know a lot of people really love that subscription. So why not? Well, have a good evening. Thank you for joining me today. And as always, be safe, take care of yourselves and your families, and I will see you on the next video.